Hi, everybody. Welcome to week 9. All right, this week we've got function as a change agent and leader. Oh my gosh. In nursing education, there are so many opportunities that we are going to have thrust upon us probably as far as being a change agent and being a leader. Let's just think about curriculum in academia. New standards come along. New curriculum pieces come along. You get feedback from clinical sites that you need to incorporate into your teaching. You evaluate how your students are doing on the NCLEX and figure out new things that need to be incorporated into your teaching. So there's a lot of opportunity to be a change agent. For those of you who are going to be teaching in academia, maybe you will be teaching with other individuals who've been teaching a long time and maybe not get their master's degree in nursing education. So maybe you will be the ones to share with them about active learning strategies and enhancing student engagement and things like that. So I think there's a lot of opportunity for change there. And of course, in the clinical setting, you've got to change when anything new comes along, right? New equipment, new accreditation standards, new procedures, new charting, just all sorts of things. Things are constantly changing, both nursing education and the clinical arena. So lots of opportunities for change. And then people do really look to nurse educators as leaders. Nursing instructors, people are using them as resources all the time. Same thing in facilities with the clinical educators. You're really looked at as a professional educator, a master's prepared nurse, and a leader in your field. So I think you will definitely, regardless of what area you decide for teaching, will be experiencing both the need to be a change agent and to be a leader. When we think about change, if you think back to some of your courses that I think maybe you've previously learned about change, and you learned all the different change theories, and you think, well, yeah, right. Honestly, if you're making a big change at any facility, I think you really do need to consider the wisdom from some of those change theories. I particularly like Lewin's change theory, and it has been expanded on over the years, but basically you have an unfreezing time, and that's the time where you provide staff, educators, students, whatever, with the data about why this change is needed. Why isn't the current process working? Why is this new change so good? What are the details? Tell me more about this new change. So it's unfreezing the current attitude about whatever it is you're going to change. Then you've got the moving or changing piece, which is actually implementing the change. Okay, and you've got to make sure everybody's on board and consider things like, have I included education that's accessible to people working all different times at the facility or at in academia? What about adjuncts? You've really got to plan your change. And then with Lewin, it has a refreezing. And it basically is not making the assumption that just because we went through this change process, this change is going to happen, be smooth, and stick. It's really looking at follow-up, ensuring that the change is going to work, evaluation, getting feedback from people, putting monitors in place to see if this change is actually being done. So things like that. So I do think that change theory has a lot of practical applications. And if you look at some of the change theories, you can actually see how it can guide your process of going through a change. So I am attaching this week an article about a clinical leadership plan. And basically, anyone can be a clinical leader. Our bedside nurses can definitely be clinical leaders. Our instructors, our adjuncts, everyone can be a clinical leader. And it takes a look at what are the components, what is really needed to be a clinical leader, and gives you a little bit of kind of a self-evaluation tool, you would say, to see what areas you are doing well in to prepare as a clinical leader, and maybe what areas you might want to think about targeting for growth as a clinical leader. All right, so that's all the fun stuff for this week. Let's see, I think I've got NEPDs to review this week, and I'll get those back to you as soon as I can. Otherwise, I think you're off the hook for assignments. So, hope you have a great week, and I'll see you in the main forum.